Vibes are like emotions. And the thing about emotions is that we all experience them in our lives. And sometimes without even us realizing them, those vibes can end up controlling us in a way that just isn't healthy. Whether it's keeping you from hanging out with those people or just getting so messed up that you just trip up at a track meet or something. It happens. We end up being controlled by our vibes. And today we want to talk about that one vibe that controls us. Fear.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Adam here, and it is so good to see you guys. We miss your faces so much. Let me start this video off by saying Happy New Year. Can't believe that 2021 is here. I mean, how crazy is that? And it's our hope that 2021 is going to be way better than what 2020 ever was. And I just want to say welcome to F1oorOneTV. We are a community of passionate people who want to invest in each other. We just believe that when we do something together, it is so much bigger than ourselves. That's why F1oorOneTV is so much more than just videos. It's an experience that is meant to inspire you, to encourage you, and to challenge you in your life. So, hey, thanks for watching us every single week. If you've been tuned in from the beginning, we appreciate your views and we appreciate you being a part of this community. And if this is your first time checking us out, we just want to invite you to hit that subscribe button so every time we drop new content, you're going to be the first to know. Now stay tuned, because January is normally the month that we make it to snow camp. But this year, unfortunately, we're not going to be taking that 6.5-hour trek up north to Circle C. So we decided that we would try to do the next best thing, and we're going to bring Circle C to you on your screen. That's right, this whole month, all of the messages are going to be done by Circle C staff. It's going to be absolutely incredible. You get all the people from Circle C without having to go out in the cold and be frozen, without having to stay up super late, without having to lose your voice, unless nobody has more vibes, more moods, more emotions that seem to control everything they do than students. And listen, it's okay to feel all those feels. But the problem comes when those moods become the motivators that drive your actions and your thoughts. That's why in this series, we're gonna dive deep into all of those feelings, all of those moods that seem to drive our actions. And we're gonna try to answer this question. How do you get control of your vibes instead of letting your vibe control you?
Ah! Did I scare you? I don't know if I did or not. This is just a video. What's up, everybody? My name is Josh. In case you don't know me, I'm from Circle C Ranch, and we are doing a series all about vibes, all about emotions. And we're talking about emotions that can control us. And today we're talking about fear. That's why I tried to scare you in the beginning. Sometimes, for all of us, fear can cloud everything we see and totally control the way we live. I would know, because here at camp, we have a program that is all about scaring people. Every fall, we would do a program called Fright Night, where we would do a scary walkthrough, and the goal was to scare people, and we did it pretty well. We scared people pretty good, and I know that because I would watch, and it was just the joy of my life to see someone so scared that they don't act like themselves anymore. No, they get so scared, they just lose control. I've seen people get so scared that they just start running. And, I've seen them run out an open doorway. I've seen them run towards a not so open doorway. I've seen people run into walls. I've seen people hug their friends so hard that, they just scream and shout. And I've seen some people pass out. I've seen some people, I love it. And honestly, I love that part of the fear. I hate being afraid. And so my dad will take us on trips to haunted houses so that we can learn how the pros do it. but I hate it. I hate being afraid. And I don't know if he does it just to actually learn or just to see me be afraid and he knows I hate it. Whatever the reason, I hate being afraid because I react that way. There's been times where there's that guy, with like the chainsaw right behind you, and you're telling yourself, if I act like I'm afraid, they're gonna target me. I gotta act like this doesn't bother me, but it bothers you. And before I know it, I am running, I'm screaming, I'm shouting, I'm yelling, I'm pointing, and then they just come after me, and it's just this cycle. Fear can sometimes take over, and that's normal. Typically you're not being chased by a guy with a chainsaw. If you are, get help. What are you doing with your life? But the fears that consume us are like the what ifs of life, what if I don't pass this test? What if this pandemic kills everyone on earth? What if she or she doesn't like me? What if, these are the things that you think about, and, before you know it, the what if this happens turns into, well, if that happens, what if this happens? Well, what if that happens? What if this happens? And then before you know it, your whole day has been wasted away by being afraid. I think we can all relate. I think the things that scare you, that you dwell on, that you probably shouldn't. Well, thankfully for us, Jesus talks a lot about fear. And Jesus talked a lot about fear to his disciples. And why? Because everybody fears, right? It's a really common thing. And so he addressed it often. And there's a story in the Bible that I want to talk to you about today. And the what ifs that the disciples might have been afraid of were, what if this boat sinks and we all die in this storm? Because they were on some stormy waters. Now, I have a couple of illustrations to help you really visualize the story. But I have to tell you, it's a weird thing. Whenever I go to a thrift store and I see a piece of wood with a picture on it, I just want it. I want to have it. I want it to be mine. And normally they're like a few bucks, so it's not that bad of a habit, but I just love it. I don't know why, it's weird. Let me show you. This is on my wall. This isn't the picture I want to show you, but just to give you... This is a picture of a dog that I have on my wall. It's on a piece of wood. I love it. Okay? Don't judge me. I just it's a thing I like. But the pictures that I want to show you are of boats. Look at this one. Boat on a piece of wood. And look at this one here. Another boat on a piece of wood. Look at these boats. There's your visual. They were on a boat. And the storm was raging, and I want to read to you the passage from the Bible. And it is in Matthew 8, and it's verses 24 through 27. So if you want to join me in reading, feel free. If not, I'm going to read it to you. So buckle up. Let's go. Matthew 8, 24 through 27 says, "Suddenly a furious storm came up on the lake, so that the waves swept over the boat." Those are some big waves, okay? They swept over the boat. That's a big wave. I don't care, okay? Think about it. That is scary. But Jesus was sleeping. He's sleeping? That's crazy, okay? He's a hard sleeper, I guess. Sleeping. The disciples went and woke him, saying, "Lord, save us. We're going to drown." He replied, "You of little faith, why are you so afraid?" Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. The men were amazed and asked, "What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him." I just love the visual of Jesus getting up, just kind of groggy, and going up to the winds and the waves. And like, "Guys, come on!" And then just like, yeah, it says he rebuked them. Maybe it's in another book, it says exactly what he says. I don't know for sure, but I just love the idea of him being upset. Anyways, why were they so afraid? Well, because it was scary, right? There were so many what ifs. There were so many things that could have gone wrong. But the one thing that they neglected to remember is that God was on their boat. God was in the middle of the storm. God was with them. And so it didn't matter how big the waves were, God's bigger. And Jesus was there, and he proved that. He's just like, "Guys, I got this." And in our lives, we need to realize that sometimes the fear and the things that we're scared of aren't nearly as big as the God who is with us. Later in the book of Matthew, Jesus tells his disciples to be afraid. We just go from this incredible story of don't be afraid. What are you doing? You little faith. And then he goes on to say, no, you need to be afraid. Let's talk about that, because it's not a contradiction. It's really, really important, actually. And it will help us be fearless and not be controlled by fear. I know this sounds confusing. Let's just get to it. It is Matthew 10:28 through 31. And it says, "Do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care. And even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid. You're worth more than many sparrows." I love this. He's just like, does he not know about the sparrows? Yeah, well, he knows how many hairs are on your head. He knows about you. And why should we, who does he say we should be afraid of? Not the people of this world. We should be afraid of God. Now, if you've read through the Old Testament, you see this. You see, fear God. In Proverbs 1:7, it says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom." So this is just like, I feel like Jesus is saying, don't be afraid. Now he's saying, be afraid. And then Proverbs is saying, fear the Lord. And what am I supposed to do? Well, it's what your fear is in. That's what counts. If your fear is in the what ifs of this world, you're going to be distracted and you're going to be controlled by your fears. But if your fear is in God, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean? I was always confused by that. I was like, well, I thought I was supposed to love God. Now I'm supposed to be afraid of God? What am I supposed to do? It's 2 different things. It does feel like 2 different things until you understand what it's saying. And it is saying this. It's saying, don't be afraid of those who kill the body. Don't be afraid of the things of this world. Be afraid of disobeying God. Because when we disobey God, that is what we should actually be afraid of. If we are disobeying man, who cares? What's the worst they can do? Kill us? What's the worst God can do? Probably a lot worse. And so what are we afraid of? Are we afraid of dishonoring men and the things of this world and getting hurt? And are we afraid of that stuff? Is that the stuff that we're the most afraid of? Or are we afraid of disobeying and walking against God? Because when we live in the fear of the Lord, which is really the fear of living outside of God's plan for us and disobeying it, when we are living in the fear of the Lord, we are fearless. You aren't controlled by the things that are so scary and that can so easily consume you. Man, that is the goal. But it's easy to say, right? But it's not so easy to do because things are scary. Those waves on that boat, scary, right? They were going over the boat. And even though they knew God was with them, it was still scary. And that's where we have to work together. And we need to have help. Keeping that perspective that the fear of God is way more important than any fear of anything else. And so this is what you guys should do. And this is an awesome way to just kind of help you see things clearly, because it's really easy to get things distorted when you're afraid, that things seem bigger than they are. And so what you need to do is, I don't know if you're a journal person, or I don't know if you just got some notes on your phone, or I don't know if the space on your phone is full, so you have to text yourself, whatever it is, this is what you need to do. You need to name whatever it is that you're afraid of, whatever the thing is that consumes your time. We've been talking about it, the things that pop in your head. Write that down, say, I'm afraid of this. And now here's the thing. God not only says, don't be afraid. He says, he tells us that he wants to take care of your fears. He wants to walk with you. In 1 Peter, it says, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Know that if you are a believer and you are a Christian and you have accepted Jesus into your life, know that even in the worst storm, Jesus is with you. It doesn't matter how big those waves are, you aren't going to sink. Thank you guys so much for listening, and hey, we'll see you soon. Peace.
All right, yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you, Circle C, for the message, and thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Now, if you're on YouTube, you'll notice an icon at the top right, and if you would, click on that so you can see our other videos. We're glad you guys came to our channel, and if you have the time, please subscribe. If you have a video idea, just let us know in the comments. See you next time.